Crane the Cowboy with you. Here we are, late June, Patrick, as the campaign turns.
Yes.
Donald Trump has fired his campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, the guy who kind of got him on the map.
Yeah, he took him as far as he could, but I think even Trump realized if he's going to get to the Super Bowl and win it, he needs a better coach. And it looks like Paul Manafort has succeeded in becoming the new coach. So I think it bodes well for the campaign.
Now, Donald Trump, we're told, he's big on loyalty. So one question I have is, why wouldn't he find another job for Lewandowski in this campaign that's going to get bigger?
Well, when you're gone, you're gone. And I think his kids, Trump's kids, didn't want him around. They felt that he was giving Trump bad advice. You know, that bad 3 weeks that he had, or 2 weeks that he had, he was still doing the kind of things that Lewandowski wanted him to do. Well, that didn't work out, and I think the kids are showing great maturity, and they say, get that punk out of here.
Now, Lewandowski goes about the same time, and we don't know if this is a direct reaction, that the Trump campaign realized we only have about $1.3 million in the bank in a race that's going to demand close to, if not $1 billion.
Yeah, and Trump is testing tradition, if you will. We've talked about this a lot, and since your background in television, you know, are people really watching TV as, you know, Hillary Clinton, I got $140 million I'm going to drop on his head. Okay, but who's watching? If Trump is successful with a leaner campaign and more social media and internet ads and things like that, he's going to rewrite the playbook. And a lot of donors are going to save themselves money going forward.
Well, as of right now, and people may already be tired of it, but Donald Trump he's still a big demand in the media. Fox has him on almost every night. CNN has him on from time to time. He's got a little feud with them now. And by the way, Corey Lewandowski, the recently departed campaign manager, has been hired by CNN.
Gee, what a shock.
Well, it tells you that he's probably not going to dump anything on Trump. He's probably going to be very supportive.
I think he's going to be the defender. They've hired, they wanted somebody on one of their panels to be a defender, and, you know, that's fine. But again, you know, if you get back to this whole money thing, is that a lot of the money in campaigns is absolutely wasted. Hillary Clinton's got 800 people. And, you know, there's a lot of guys who write policy papers.
And a lot of people who go
plans.
for coffee.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and they're very expensive coffee getters. And all they're doing is, she's got a lot of people on staff because that's her government in waiting. And they figured if I'm close to the campaign, because when you're in a campaign, if you apply for a job after the campaign, first question they ask you, what did you do in the campaign?
And you know this how?
Oh, well, you know, I was
He worked for a campaign.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing about the money thing, though, Patrick, is, as you well know, there's a trickle-down theory, not so much of the Republican economics, but there's a trickle-down theory that the guy who's raising lots of money because he's running for president is going to raise enough for the party, so it trickles down to the so-called lower ballot races.
Yes. I don't worry too much about that because he is raising money for the party, and a lot of donors who say they don't like Trump are giving to the party or the Republican Congressional Campaign Committee or the Republican Senate Campaign Committee, and they'll be giving to state parties to help build the apparatus. So I don't worry too much about that. You know, he has to run his own campaign, and that's where that quote-unquote $1 billion comes from.
What do you make of Donald Trump's use of his own corporations to fund his air travel, to fund some of his receptions and speeches at various country clubs and properties he owns, kind of dipping into your left pocket and putting something in your right?
Well, but he just said today he had $50 million that he loaned the campaign, and he forgave the loan, so he's not paying himself back. You know, look, to me, he's a smart business guy. And why not go to friendly venues where you got everything all set up for you? Again, we got a guy who's just totally non-traditional, and every political scientist in America who draws a paycheck from a university should turn in their paychecks.
Elizabeth Warren, the Massachusetts senator, considered a possible running mate for Hillary Clinton. She has come out with a little video demanding that Donald Trump release his tax returns, and if he doesn't do it, obviously there's something bad there.
Yeah, I mean, Elizabeth Warren, a woman who faked her way as a Cherokee Indian so she could get favorable treatment at Harvard, a woman who accused Donald Trump of flipping homes, and yet she was flipping homes. You know, excuse me, this woman has absolutely nothing. And the more I hear about Elizabeth Warren and all the great stuff she can do, what has she done? She's a failed professor.
So that truck with the Elizabeth Warren for Vice President bumper sticker, that's not your truck?
That ain't my truck. Mine says cowboy up or go sit in the truck.
That's the Cowboy. I'm Crane. We'll have more coming up.
Huddle up.